Hi Stampers, this is Marie Bennett at blackberriesandcream.net, and I'm here today with another Wondrous Wreath video. This time we're making a birthday card, and I found this card at Crystal's Cards Stampin'Up, and it was made by Crystal DeLu, I hope. If I said that wrong, Crystal, I'm very sorry. So when you're finished watching this video, if you're interested in more cards made by Crystal, head on over to her site at Crystal's Cards Stampin'Up. So to make this card, we're using 3 stamp sets: the Wondrous Wreath, Butterfly Basics, and from this set we're just using this Happy Birthday Greeting, and Garden in Bloom. From this stamp set I'm using Hope You're Feeling Special Today, because that's just what you are. Alright, let's go ahead and get started. For this card, we're using a card base of basic gray cardstock that's been cut at 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 down the middle, and then you fold it. And I have one piece too many, so I'll get that out of our way. Fold it and score it with your bone folder, or crease it with your bone folder. The inside layer I've already stamped. Hope you're feeling special today, because that's just what you are, and we're going to adhere that with snail adhesive. I've done some of the work because I kind of wanted this to be just a quick video, just to give you the basic foundation of the card. Okay, so this layer is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. Alright, so for the outside of the card, we're using a piece of smoky slate as the next layer, and that is cut at 4 by 5 1/4, and going to adhere this with snail adhesive, trying to keep the 1/8 inch border all the way around. Okay, so now for the outside of the card, we have I have a layer of smoky slate ink, and I've used this large fuller wreath image. The next layer is going to be in basic gray, the new archival ink, and we're going to use this scattered leaf layer. So I'm going to ink that up with my basic gray archival ink, and because the layer is bigger than my stamp pad, I ink it up by holding the stamp pad and inking the stamp that way. Okay, now you can see this this stamp has a little tab at the top to help us keep lined up, and the first layer had the same tab, and I stamped it with the tab going straight up. Now I can line it up. See these 2 little leaves and this smaller leaf over here? I can find that pattern here, the 2 leaves and the smaller leaf, and if I line those up, I get a pretty good approximation of lining up the basic gray with the smoky slate. Alright, so now we're ready to cut, or to use our thinlits to cut this wreath out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay, so I cut the basic wreath out using the Wonderful Wreath thinlet, the large thinlet, and I saved the second thinlet for another run through the Big Shot, because we're going to cut a doily out at the same time. So I'm just going to kind of get this inlet centered so that it's basically in the middle of the doily, kind of like that. And then I'll take this over, run it through the Big Shot, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have put the doily and the wreath through the Big Shot together and cut them at the same time, so you can see that the hole that's left is exactly matching. I don't know how to say that exactly, but so that we've just got one hole, and it leaves the smoky slate poking through the back of the wreath. The next step, I think, in making this card is to adhere this layer of Whisper White cardstock to the tea lace doily. And I'm going to do that using snail adhesive. And to help me line it back up, you see this little notch right here that's in both images. I just want to line those notches up with the, and that will help me get it exactly lined up again. There. Okay, now before I adhere the doily and the wreath to the card, I need to do some stamping. So I'm going to use my basic gray, if I can find it again. Hi, I got a mess going on here. Not really, but it seems like it. Okay, so I've got a basic gray, and I'm going to use that happy birthday sentiment from the Butterfly Basics. And it's a fairly large greeting. So I'm going to use a size D stamp block. There we go. And ink it up real good with this Archival Basic Gray. And stamp it right here. Leave it there for a second. There we go. Okay, so now I need to use some dimensionals. I think I'm going to go look at the picture on Pinterest. I'll be right back. It does seem to be popped up with dimensionals, so I'm going to put, I think, 4 dimensionals in behind the wreath so that they don't show through that tea lace doily. Okay, and then just put this however you want it. I think I want it like this. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is put some little flowers that have pearls on it. Pink Pirouette and Whisper White flowers. Okay, so I need some glue dots for this. And I want these little flowers to have a little dimension, so I'm going to use my paper piercing foam matte. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. And I need 6 of the pink flowers and 3 of the white. And I'm just going to use my little bone folder and just kind of poke each flower in the middle. And that kind of just pops up the edges a little. And then using my paper piercer, I'm going to put a pearl in the center of each flower. And these are little tiny flowers, so I think I'm going to use the smallest of the pearls. Okay, so every flower has a pearl, and now I'm going to put a glue dot on the back of every flower. I find these glue dots are much easier to handle if I just stick whatever I want glue dot on, stick it to the glue dot before I take the glue dot off of the roll. Alright, so now there are 3 groups of flowers on this wreath. So for every group there's 2 pinks and a white. And the bottom part of the wreath, there's going to be a bow, so I'm not going to put any flowers down there. So let's see, where does this one go? Put another group right here. I really do try to my best to duplicate the card I found on Pinterest, but Crystal, if I'm messing this one up, I'm sorry, because I really do like your card. Alright, so we've got 3 groups of flowers, and if you want to perk these up a little, you can take your paper piercer or your bone folder and just put it under and kind of try to bring the petals up from the card. Alright, now the last thing that we need is a bow, and I do not have a pink pirouette ribbon to match, so I'm going to use the Whisper White ribbon that's new in the catalog, and it's called Stitched Satin Ribbon. I really like this ribbon, and so I'm just going to tie a little bow. We know how that goes for me, but I'm going to do it anyway, right here on live video. Okay, so take my scissors, just kind of cut this bow. And then this bow will be adhered using glue dots also. And I think I'm going to use 3 glue dots. And stick this bow right here. And there you have the card. Isn't that just pretty? I wish I had some pretty and pink ribbon, but I don't. So just make do with what you've got and see if you can't make a really nice little card using this Wondrous Wreath stamp set. Alright, I love this birthday card. Hope you enjoyed it too, and thanks for watching.